Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Killer Collab Podcasts. Well, my name is Tony Dev from Florida, Tony D, as you know. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm joined with Chris Lato from Reaper Films.
Hello, hello.
Hello. This 10 a.m. stuff's for the birds.
Yeah, I know.
Just
but if we start at 11, you're cutting into my lunch hour, man.
Your lunch? What do you need an hour for lunch for?
I eat lunch at 11 o'clock. Like, I don't eat in the morning.
It's not even 11. Lunchtime. It's morning. It's like brunch.
Sometimes I'm on a schedule at like 6 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I'm on a schedule.
Today we have a special guest in the studio, Karl Huber. How are we?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing all right. Special effects artists. Now, I'd like to welcome everyone into the studio and try to get a little in-depth or a little idea of what you're about, so the audience recognizes you, and so they'll recognize your name and then your face. Not all the time you'll be recognized by your face because you're generally not on camera.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on camera?
Like
in a movie?
Yeah, I did a
porn don't count. Porn don't count. We already assessed this. The porn doesn't count.
Okay, I was gonna say 10 movies, but I've been in one film. There was a short film that I like. It was the very first thing I did, and it was like a learning process. I was the serial killer in the thing. It turned out horrible.
Everybody's first movie turns out horrible, Karl.
It's supposed to.
This turned out like pretty bad. But well, it was just like I was doing special effects as well, and there was a lot of effects that I wanted to be in there, like slit throats, and I even made a copy of one of the actresses' heads, so I could like rip her jaw off.
Nice.
Yeah. And there was the camera guy that we had on there who was when I was looking for a camera guy, I went to Craigslist. That was my first mistake.
Yep.
And
what year was it?
This was like 2011 when I went into production on it. Okay. And he sent me like a trailer of this film that he directed and stuff like that, and he was passing it off as his own camera work. Like it was, like the camera work looked okay. I kind of figured it's Craigslist. I'm not going to get the best for the price that I was wanting to pay. But he just messed. I had to delete the entire card because nothing he got. Like he put the ISO, the light settings on automatic. So we got sunlight and forecast.
Goes in and out. Yeah, that's
well, to top that off, we would have like dark forecast, and the ISO would just go,
go crazy,
20,000 or something. It just looked like a bunch of fruity pebbles floating around the air. And like none of it, or the footage was soft. We had a part where I would come up behind a guy who was like pissing in the woods and slice his throat.
Yeah.
As soon as I grabbed the guy's face, he was holding the camera. He dropped the camera to the guy's knees.
What?
And then came back up like after the throat's already slit. Yeah, like it was just the worst camera guy ever.
Oh wow.
Who was it?
Huh?
What was his name?
Oh, Marcus Kempton. I don't give a shit. I'll say his name. Yeah, he already knows what I think of him.
You got that Marcus Kempton, right? Marcus Kempton.
Oh yeah.
Pronounced correctly, Kempton. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can spell it out. But he even brought like a friend to set who was taking pictures with the flash on. Like I said, I'm the guy.
What?
I'm the killer in this thing. So like I don't see the flash until later on. I'm looking at the B-roll.
Yeah.
And we just got a camera flash going off during a scene.
What is?
Yeah, and the girl I was dating at the time, like Marcus was trying to put moves on her, and then his friend, like there was a 19-year-old actress we had on set, and his friend who was in his like 50s or 60s or something, friended her on Facebook and liked every single photo, and did that whole like you're a goddess, nonsense.
That creeper status. That's what gives us a bad name when we try to make movies. Yeah. It really is. See, like that's literally the reason why we have bad, like a stigma behind making movies.
You know what's interesting though is like, all right, the movies like the B-rated, the sleazebox, and everything else like that, where there's just blood and nudity and just everything else. Like everyone I've seen make those films have been pretty stand up and like respectful.
Absolutely.
Oh, respectful to the crew, the talent, even the actresses who are doing the nude scenes.
Here's the thing with that is it's hard to find girls that'll do that stuff. So once you find them, you want to keep them around and
do more like with them. Like there's more movies that they like. How many have we made with
like
sushi?
me and Sean? I mean, we've made a ton of movies that all have nudity and stuff in them, and we try to keep the set closed. Like if you don't need to be in there in the room or whatever, we kick you out.
Yeah,
you know, we don't want anybody. So it's uncomfortable for not just the girl, but I'm uncomfortable with it directing nudity and whatever. And you know, you got to be respectful, and especially nowadays. I mean, too, and everything. It's pretty dicey sometimes.
Absolutely.
I remember on Housewives Slasher, my second movie. That was the first movie that we had nudity, and we had one of the girls was laying on the bed naked, and she had a knife in her side, and there was a guy that kind of like forced his way onto our movie. Like he came to my house one night, knocked on my fucking door at like 8:00 at night, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I opened the door, and this guy named Ivan. Do you know Ivan?
What's his last name?
Petrick.
I'll look him up.
Yeah, I mean, Ivan Petrick. So he's like, hey, I want to be on your movie, and I do this. I have all this experience and all this shit. And at this time, I'm pretty inexperienced. You know, this was my second movie, and I was looking for crew and stuff, and he shows up on my door, which I thought was kind of weird. But
very weird.
He seemed like he knew.
How did he get your address?
I have no idea. He seemed like he knew.
Red flag number one.
Right. He seemed like he knew his stuff. Like he had call sheets and like all this stuff. So he talked me into working on the movie. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, more help the better. So I bring him on. Well, the fucker is, I'm standing outside the bedroom looking in through the doorway, and she's laying on the bed, and he's over my shoulder snapping pictures.
What the fuck?
And I didn't realize he was doing it because he was behind me. And so in between takes, the girl called me over, and she was like, hey, she goes, you know, Ivan's making me really uncomfortable. Like he's snapping pictures while we're shooting of me naked. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I told Sean. Sean's like the hit, you know, the bouncer. So I told Sean, I was like, just fucking get rid of him, man. Like we don't need him. And before that, when she was getting her makeup put on and stuff, you know, she was like in a towel, and he's like trying to get in the room and taking pictures. And we had a bathtub scene where he was trying to get in the room, like, and then so finally Sean just booted him. He was like, yeah, we don't need you anymore, you know, hit the road. And he sent us like this long email saying that Sean's a little Caesar and like he's trying to take control of everything, and I didn't do anything wrong, all this bullshit. I'm just like, you're a fucking creeper, man. Like why would you even attempt to do that? You know, take pictures of naked girls while you're fucking shooting a movie. Like,
supposed to be professional. Supposed to like, dude, it's your job. It's a job that, you know, like you got to treat like everything else. Like,
right?
Why would like I don't? Like I said, I don't get that during the whole Joel Weinstein stuff that people want to just do shit like this. Like,
yeah.
Like I said, it gives us a bad name whenever we try to put a legitimate movie together. It's like, oh, it looks like a creepy, you know.
Right, and that's the thing is when I was trying to cast for the cheerleader movie, I mean, I was getting crucified for posting a casting that had nudity in it. Yeah. You know, it was supposed to be high school girls. You just want to see naked girls. Yeah. Well, the thing that it was, you know, I was like, you know, you got to look high school age or, you know, 18 to 20 is what I was looking for. Yeah. And I was getting crucified. Like people were like, high school girls naked. I'm like, have y'all ever fucking seen a horror movie? Like literally every horror movie is in high school.
Yeah, every single one. Well, majority.
So, but yeah, I was getting crucified because I posted a casting, and I'm like, I'm legit. I'm trying to like legitimately get people, and people were just like thinking that it was something different. You know, I'm just trying to lure people to rape them or something. And it was
I don't.
Frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't get it.
Because people like Ivan.
See, the irony is like the people who aren't direct about that are pretty much the creepers. The ones who are like photo shoot implied or lingerie or something like that. As soon as they get the girls to the set, you know, take a few pictures. Oh, can you take your top off? Yeah. Right.
And then when you post something like that, like in the Orlando Film Network or whatever, if you film something vague, then they're like, well, I need to know this and this and this and this and this and this. And then you like put all of that information out there trying to be legit and like upfront about everything.
Yeah.
And they fucking rip you up. So,
well, yeah. Well, I mean, they'll always find something to
What are
rip
you
you up
gonna do?
about. Always find something to rip you
Yeah.
up about. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't know. People get touchy, and people are very sensitive nowadays, too, and very, like, woke. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of different things that they're looking out for and red flags that they're looking for. But, so, Karl,
Yeah.
what was your first special effect?
My first special effect would probably just a cut on my arm, honestly.
Were you just practicing one day, just like
Yeah, like
with the latex or whatever?
it was silicone. There's like this part A and B silicone. You mix it up, and depending on what kind you get, it can take 3 minutes to cure, or it could take 2 hours or 4 hours to cure. But
Yeah.
obviously, I got like the 3 to 5 minute one, just so I could have some working time to sculpt it, like blend it into my skin and stuff like that. But
what got you interested in?
it was just I didn't know any special effects artists. Like filmmaking was what I wanted to do ever since I was in high school, and even that, like, I tried doing my early 20s, and I don't know, I just wasn't putting enough into it. Like, there wasn't really anything online you could research. You basically had to go to film school at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
And even the film equipment, like, digital was still an expensive thing. DSLR cameras weren't where they are now.
Yeah.
With that. So I actually quit after one failed attempt and was actually going to become a firefighter. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad way to go either.
Well, yeah. I mean, it had its upsides. Like, I was smoking for 11 years, and I actually quit smoking just so I could enroll into the fire academy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which later on helped bankroll the whole filmmaking thing when I decided to do that again.
I had a lot of saved money from cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
Cigarettes are so expensive.
They were like almost $7 a pack when I quit.
Yeah, well, when I quit, it was 2012. So, and I was in Jersey, and cigarettes were $7 then.
Oh, and yeah.
Yeah. So it was. I mean, it was killing me, but it is what it is. Like,
see, I worked at a Chinese restaurant like for 13 years. That was one of the reasons why I couldn't even be on Dai Delta Pi, right? Like,
Well, what's funny is how we met Karl is we had posted for an editor. We were looking for an editor for our movies, and we interviewed probably 10 people. And Karl came in, and we liked him a lot, and we felt like he could do the job, but he told us that he was working like 80 hours a week delivering Chinese food.
7 days
And
a week
we're
over
like,
the close.
when the hell is he going to edit? Like, how is he going to do this? So it kind of was like, all right, let's go a different direction. And we also, we interviewed Alex Lakowski, and who we ended up going with was this guy, Larry, and Larry ended up doing all the lighting on Dai Delta Pi, and he brought in this lady that had all these lights and stuff, and so he did all the lighting, and actually the lighting was amazing.
yeah.
And then when it came to cutting the movie together, he edited a trailer and then never worked on the movie ever again. And we were like, all right, what the hell? Like,
Was at least
it was always like
trailer.
It was just like excuses and excuses and excuses. Like he never started editing. So we ended up having the writer of Dai Delta Pi, who lives in Texas. We sent him all the footage, and he ended up cutting it together. He did a good job, but I don't know. We never really hired an editor, and then I just started editing. And I didn't like it
I hate
back then.
I hate editing now.
And I was new at it, and I wasn't that good, and we wanted this movie to be really good. And so since then, I've learned to edit, and I think I'm okay. I'm not like gonna win any awards or anything, but
No, it's good.
Get the job done.
From what I've seen, I've been impressed.
it doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah.
So
Probably have you guys like personally put anything on Amazon Prime?
oh yeah, it sucks.
I
Like,
think
it's the worst. I had my second movie, Housewife Slasher, on there, and I was literally making $1 every quarter. I was getting $1 put into my account. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I changed it to where you can rent it instead of having it on Prime free.
Yeah.
And I haven't made shit.
Nothing. Yeah.
So, but back in the day when I first made the movie, which was in 2000, I think we released it in 2012, the end of it. And back then you could put it on Amazon yourself, and you could, it was before like Prime Video, like where stuff was free on there.
Yeah.
You had to rent everything off there. And I put it up for like $3.99 to rent and $9.99 to buy. And I was making like $150 to $200 a month just having it sit there. Like I wasn't even promoting it or anything. People were just finding it and renting it. And
then they changed.
And then Wild Eye Releasing contacted me about distributing the movie, and they picked it up for me, and did a distribution deal with them. And I made $325 in 4 years.
Big change there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was one of the dumbest things I ever did.
Well, that's the whole distribution deal.
You live and learn.
Yeah.
And I was green and didn't know any better.
I think the most I've ever made off of my first feature was probably $100 one year, but that was only because
on Amazon.
Yeah, it was sort of like piggybacking the fame of another movie that was covering the same subject matter.
That was The Broadcast, right?
Yeah, The Broadcast. It was about the War of the Worlds broadcast that they did in 1938, and it was from the viewpoint of two different people that lived across the street from each other, and like no one says shit the entire time this thing's going. It's all reaction and cinematography based. But it just sat on Amazon for I think 2 years, and then this other film called Brave New Jersey came out. It had some mainstream actors in it. Like it actually did have a theatrical limited release. It really didn't cover the broadcast at all. They played like maybe 5 minutes of it, and then it was just.
That's usually how it is.
Yeah, the rest of the movie is just about these people freaking out in this New Jersey town, but that had a bigger following. So when that came out, I guess my film title would show up in the Google searches, so people were watching that, and I think I made like $80
on Prime. That's actually really good.
Yeah, $80 on Prime, like just with that month, and the collective. What I think it was like $2 a month is what I was making.
Yeah. My son was in that
average.
movie, The Broadcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Jaden.
Little kid. Yep.
Huh. How's he doing, by the way?
He's good. He just graduated high school last year, and he's about to start college in the middle of August. He's going through a program for crime scene investigation. So,
how old was he when he was in The Broadcast? He wasn't that old.
When was that?
That was.
Oh my God, that had been 7-8 years ago, right?
2014 when we shot.
2014.
Yeah,
so 6 years. He's 19 now. So he'll be 19 next week.
Wow.
So yeah.
Oh wow.
Goddamn.
Time flies when you get old.
I wish he kind of stuck with acting. He's really good at it, and he just doesn't care. He don't like it.
Yeah, it's not for
funny because when I first got him into acting, I got him in with Luis's People, which is an agency, and she's giving him work, like commercial work and stuff. And he did an Amscot commercial, and we were literally there 4 hours, and he made like $250. I mean, to a little 12-year-old kid, like that's pretty good money.
Yeah, it is.
And then he tells me, "Yeah, I don't think I want to act anymore." I'm like, "You just made $250 for 4 hours of literally sitting around, and then you pushed a bike across the street 2 times. Like, come on." And then he was on the TV all the time. It was an Amscot commercial. So it was all the time. People were saying, "Hey, there's Jade." And he just didn't want to do it anymore. And I'm just like, I don't get it. Why don't you want to do it anymore? Yeah, I just didn't like all the waiting around and stuff. I'm like, oh my God. What the hell? So now he's working at a pizza place, slinging pizzas, and
it's not a bad
going to start school. So
something to do while you're
I mean, he pretty much took a year off to figure out what he wanted to do, which is fine. I wasn't pressuring him. Like I said, look, write down everything that you like, figure out what you enjoy doing, and figure out how to make money doing it.
Yep.
And he's always been interested in forensics and crime scene investigation and all this stuff. So I'm like, hey, they got a program at HCC. It's 2 years, and so he's going to do that. Which is cool.
Nice.
I hope he has a strong stomach because I don't.
No. I don't. I definitely don't. Like, I have a criminal justice degree, and I did nothing with it whatsoever.
Didn't the broadcast have like a TV? Was it on TV? On a network or something?
Yeah, Tampa Arts and Entertainment Channel. They
Is
had
it like
it
a
on
public
their
access, or is it?
Yeah, kind of like public access for Tampa. They basically just showcase all the whatever stuff, like whether it's I've really never watched the channel, but yeah, like if you make a short film or a feature-length film in Tampa, and it's, you know, family friendly enough to put on because it is a network. Yeah. So
did you make any money with that, or was it?
No, it was just it was exposure. That's what it was, and which was great. But that was pretty cool to have that on there for, you know, just a straight year.
Right.
But I made that film because growing up, people, whenever that topic would come up, though, you know, the Orson Welles scare, like everyone talked about, like, why has anyone made a movie about that? So when I started developing the screenplay for it, I told, you know, some family, friends, like people my age, and they understood what it was. But like as production started and the actors, some of them were all pretty young. Like I would tell them, they're like, "What is that?"
Right.
Like, fuck. Yeah. Like I still want to make the film, but like I have very little faith that people are actually going to be interested in this in the end.
Yeah.
Well, which I was right, but you know, for a first feature, I wish there were things that turned out better, but I'm satisfied with what I was able to do with what little I
think Steven Spielberg makes some movies like, I wish I had done that better.
I think a lot of people do that.
I wish I never did that. I wish I never made that movie. I guess they have that.
Every filmmaker does that. Yeah, want to change something after it's done, and
it's kind of mind blowing to see like some film like Martin Scorsese. I hear like sometimes it takes him 5-10 years to get a project up and running.
Yeah.
I think that movie Silence was like a 20-year passion project of his. Like, you know, Christopher Nolan can just walk in to Warner Bros. And ask for $180 million.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Tell them to go fuck themselves if they want to see the screenplay. And they're like, here you go. There's a check.
Yep, pretty much. You could say the same thing for James Gunn now, because James Gunn earned himself so much like credibility with Marvel and DC, and then like anything that he's been doing.
There's a few filmmakers like that.
Yeah,
I'm sure Tarantino could go to wherever and they'll scratch him a check for however much he wants.
I think Snyder could almost do the same thing right now, anyway.
Oh yeah, Zack
Must
Snyder.
be nice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So so it used to be Marcus Cook who did like all the indie filmmakers, FX and stuff, and he worked on pretty much all our movies. And then he moved, and I think Karl's pretty much the standard right now for FX.
Pretty much.
If anybody asks for who's good at FX, I always tag them. And
it's definitely getting there. Like,
are people doing stuff?
There are, there's a couple of projects that I'm on right now. I think the latest one, Mace Walker, I think she was in here not too long ago.
Yeah, she's been here twice, actually.
Okay. Yeah, she's...
Are you going to do her stuff in North Carolina?
Yeah, she's currently working on a film, But, we're just in development right now. Well, they are, but, what is it?
She's pretty intense, Mace. Like, she had a lot of shit go wrong on her movie, and it was amazing
that her first movie.
Yeah, her last movie. But she just persevered, man. Like she just never gave up and just kept going and going and going and going, no matter what pressure she was under, what people were saying about her. I kind of admire that for a 20-year-old kid. Like it's just,
I think she was like 18
inspiration. She was 17 when she wrote the script. And
there was like a lot of ambition there.
Yeah, she's definitely ambitious. So I hope it works out for her on this new one. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah, no, like I just finished reading the script, so yeah, like it definitely has a good, interesting plot there, and the fact that they're going to have it in sort of the middle of nowhere, North Carolina, is definitely going to add to the creepy tone of it all.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to that one, especially getting out of Florida for a little while.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. You got other ones in the pipeline?
There's a couple more. I'm still. The thing is, I've spent this past month trying to find a new place,
Yeah.
which I just did. I'm actually going to be moving to Gulfport tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, for renting a house has become, I don't know if it ever was, but I've always rented apartments.
Yes.
And usually how that is, when it comes to renting apartments, you want to lock something in at least 2 months in advance.
Yep.
Right.
Maybe a month. And then it's like a, $300-$500 security deposit with, first month's rent. Pretty standard shit. Well, a house, they want you to move in right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew this rule, so I kind of waited before searching. And then everybody wanted 3 times the rent up front.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
And for just
The
something,
market's insane right now for housing, buying and
it's like
renting.
$1,500 for just basic.
It's just because there's too many damn people that live here.
Yeah.
And not enough houses.
And a lot of people moving here.
Like, look at all the, how many apartment buildings are being built lately.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's down 19. There's 2 or 3 of them.
Well,
being
all
built.
the new
Crazy.
developments that are even down by Apollo Beach. There's all these developments still in building right now.
that's
It's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Like right now, if you see something being built, it's either an apartment building or a storage unit.
yeah, there's a lot of storage units that went up.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, Tampa's getting even.
It's
crazier
so
with it.
funny that people get a storage unit to put all their Christmas stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you could literally buy all new Christmas stuff every year and save you about $700.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
See, I actually needed the storage space so I could put more body parts in it.
That's what we all need those for,
Yeah,
right?
right.
That's why I like these warehouses because it's you could throw a whole lot of shit in there. Like I got a whole warehouse that you haven't seen yet. You're gonna see that in a second when we get done here. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, or you may not know that Karl actually made my head that gets chopped off in the last couple of movies.
I forgot about that. He's been in 2 movies.
And
Yeah.
it has a detachable tongue too. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes, it does.
Sure does.
I don't
And
know.
that
I don't
tongue's
want to
been
know.
places.
Yeah, I don't want to know what Sean does with that thing.
The tongue has definitely been places.
He sent me some behind the scenes photos of naked cannibal campers.
yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't leave much to the imagination
It was
of
fun.
what he does with that thing.
So it's definitely fun to work on that.
It was definitely. I wanted to come back in the next movie, isn't it? Is it? In
Yeah, it's going to be in a pit. There's a pit with all these body parts in it, and it's going to be in there.
Nice.
I think that'll be my contribution to the film right there.
There you go. And I think we're also going to have you do makeup. We got 3 girls, and they're going to be scary witch faces. And it's literally only a maybe 5-second shot, but
That one, yeah, I think that one is still. I did talk to him a little bit about that at Tampa Bay Screams.
yeah,
Because David, the guy who made the comic book, he came by and showed me pictures of it, and they got the sharp fangs and the demonic faces and stuff.
right.
So I think Sean is still on the fence about if he wants to do that.
We're doing it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that.
I'll put my foot down on that one.
We got to
You hear
get.
that, Sean? Sean, he said he's put his foot down.
We got to get castings of all the girls' faces if they're gonna have those, the type of prosthetics that were used in the comic. Well, there's no prosthetics used in the comic books, but to match their faces that were in the comic books.
Good times.
But yeah,
Good times.
sure,
Sounds
it'll be a fun
expensive.
project.
Yeah. Where do you get these ideas for different prosthetics? If someone just tells you what they want to do, and you're like, "How do I do that?" What was the biggest thing that stumped you the most?
Biggest thing that stumped me the most, it's
How do you figure out how to, if somebody says, "Hey, I want to do this," how do you figure out how to do it?
I want to do I want to do an axe to someone's head, and just have it stuck there, or how would you do something?
Well, Karl
like that?
makes weapons and tools, and in Dead Residence, he made us a hammer.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And,
and the brick.
And yeah, the
and they're
brick.
so light, you can attach them to the head, and they look real. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there was the brick was a little tricky at first. I wouldn't say
Yeah, we
that was,
put blood in it, right? And
it was it was finding the right kind of foam,
that was porous enough to where the blood would come out?
It was firm enough to where it would have an impact on that blood pack, but it wasn't hard enough to where it would hurt the actors. So
I think that was the best part of the whole
remember
movie.
that scene. I remember that scene very.
That was the best part of the whole movie was him getting smashed with the damn brick.
I think,
that was
Sean was like really giddy when he did that thing. Like, I think when I got on set that day, that was like the first thing that they showed me was that scene with the brick.
And he was fucked up for a couple days too after that.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we all were. That house is.
The house was awful.
Oh, it was
awful.
Yeah, it was like. I don't
the
know.
movie was awful. I don't. It's got a lot of good reviews.
I was gonna say.
I'm like, I don't get it.
Well, we've already gone through your taste and everyone else's taste. We've gone through this on many recommendations.
I'm not a found footage. I don't really like the found footage. I think the found footage thing's kind of died out. I think. Like I haven't seen any found footage movies coming out.
They actually did.
They were coming out a lot. Like every year there was probably 4 or 5 of them that were coming out. And it's
not so much the fact that it's found footage anymore. Like during the whole coronavirus thing, they made a couple of films where it's people live streaming.
Yeah, on computers and stuff.
I think one of them was called Host, and
Yep. I haven't seen that one yet.
It was pretty decent.
Was it good?
Yeah.
I get them confused with what that other movie that was basically Unfriended, and there was Unfriended 2, and then there was another.
That's Unfriended 2 made no sense whatsoever. But
actually, the coolest movie like that is The Den. Did you ever see The Den?
No.
It was about a chat site, like a chat room called The Den.
Yeah.
And I think the whole movie took place on the computer, and it was really good. Like it was that was probably the best movie I've seen like that. Also, that one with the dude from Harold and Kumar.
I was just gonna say that. It was all done on the computer screen.
That was a really good movie too.
Like all through the computer screen and webcams. Like that
good.
whole movie was. I never saw that, but I heard it was good. Like I'm curious to see that.
That's amazing that you can film a whole movie on a computer screen and have it like interesting.
Yeah.
Keep you engaged.
Yeah. There was another one with Elijah Woods and Sasha Grey. I think Open Windows.
Open Windows, that's it.
That one was decent, yeah.
That was Sasha Grey?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Sasha Grey was a retired porn star now.
Yeah.
So, to anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No idea.
Say it. Interesting. So I watched a few movies and series and stuff over the last week. Went and saw Old
with your abundance
of
time. I want to see that.
How was that?
It was good. I would put it, of all his movies, I'd put it kind of in the middle of the pack. It had some really cool stuff in it, and the story was really cool. The end's a little goofy, but the goofy ending I don't think ruined the movie.
Okay.
It was just kind of like, all right, that ending was kind of weird, but the movie overall, I liked it. I thought it was cool. And they had a lot of neat things in it. And then
I have a hate-love relationship with M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. Actually, no one ever talks about it, but he's got a show on, I think it's on Apple TV, called The Servant.
Okay.
And that show is messed up.
But is it good messed up or just
good.
messed
up? Yeah, it's awesome.
Right.
It's about this nanny, that this family gets this nanny.
Yeah.
To watch their newborn baby, and or basically to take care of their newborn baby. And the mom's like all kind of kooky, and the baby's like not real. It's like a doll. Like basically the mom had a miscarriage, and they put like one of those life looking babies.
Yeah.
As her baby, and she takes care of it like it's a real baby, and it's the weirdest shit, and like all this weird shit happens in this show.
And what does the nanny do?
The nanny like takes care of the freaking fake baby, but it sounds
familiar.
It's so weird, but it's really good. Like I really enjoy it. It's only like, I think it's like 6 or 7 episodes.
That is weird.
But that was one of the better things that he's done. Actually, I put out a list the other day. I'd go Sixth Sense, Unbreakable.
Oh yeah,
I think I'm putting that one third. Like it was that good. I really enjoyed it.
Oh wow.
I saw that The Village wasn't last though.
Lady in the Water, dude. That
I've never. Like I said,
that movie was
after
so terrible.
I've seen The Village, I swore off pretty much
yeah.
M Night. Like I was just.
I like The Village more than Lady in the Water. It was a mess, man.
Lady, I mean,
How does he still get work?
honestly, after he did After Earth, he was pretty much blacklisted from Hollywood. It was The Visit. He had to. He completely.
I haven't seen The Visit. I need to watch
Is that
that.
the alien encounter one?
No, The Visit was the found footage film where the kids go to visit their grandparents and stuff like that. It was actually really good.
Yeah, I've heard it was good.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know that was his.
Yeah, it was. Well, he did it. Like he funded the entire thing. Nobody would give him money to make
Found
another
footage.
film.
If you want to make a cheap movie, make it found footage.
And even after that, like the profit he made from that movie when it finally got distribution, like nobody would still give him money.
Yeah.
So the money he made from that movie, he funded Split with it. Right. And when Split became a success, that's when people started like warming up to M Night again.
Yeah. I mean, I like Split.
It's cool.
Split was good. Yeah.
I like Split.
But watched Fear Street, the 1600
I watched that.
whatever.
I saw that. Yeah.
The third one was pretty
good.
But
also, it was 1994 Part 2.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the old Salem witchy stuff.
See,
I like that stuff.
I don't like period stuff.
No.
I don't.
I'm not a period movie guy either, but I like that setting, the witches and the weird goats and shit like that.
I was a little concerned when they went back to 1660. I thought they were gonna Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise that bitch where like the first two are good and they're like, fuck it, let's bring it back to like 13th century Japan for some stupid ass reason.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the way they did that though with the trilogy and they released one a week. I thought that was freaking awesome. I thought they did a great job with the movies.
That's definitely, A
couple of the characters were kind of like, I didn't really care for, but I thought overall, I thought it was great.
What was your favorite kill?
Oh, my favorite kill was the beginning of the first one, 1994.
Okay, the screen
in the mall.
thing?
Yeah.
What was your favorite
awesome.
kill?
Actually, the bread slicer kill was awesome.
I was actually going to say that one because
that one was great.
You think those two are actually going to survive to the end? Like it's going to be one of those movies where like they all end up surviving, and then
wait, didn't she sleep with the boy, the kid,
I think
she made out.
Yeah, I think they made out in the closet or something, and then they came out, and then
like how old was he supposed to be? I'm just curious.
I think he was like 14 or something.
15. Probably a freshman in high school or something.
The thing that kind of got me, and I guess it kind of. They weren't exactly going for realism here, but it's just like everybody was just so cool with how everything turned out. Like, like that kid was just like he thought he was gonna like date that girl, like they were gonna be together or some shit. And then she just gets her head thrown to a bread slicer. At the end, he's just with his sister, like, "Fuck it, I'll order a pizza." Like, let's just pretend none of this happened.
Yeah.
And
there was another in the witch one. What was that, 1666 or 16?
Yeah, 1666.
Anyway, when she was in the, like, trying to get out of that cave and he, like, cut her hand off.
Yeah.
Dude, that was awesome.
Brutal. Definitely brutal.
I was like, what a great effect. Like, it looked so good.
My favorite one was one with the camp one, when the axe to the face of that one guy. That was my favorite kill. Like, it just showed the whole thing going like, bam!
Oh,
bam!
yeah.
Like I was like his first kill. I think it was his
That's
first.
what I think I enjoyed most about the series was the kills were like they were brutal kills. Like they weren't just like bullshit off screen stuff. Like they were showing the gore, and I thought they did a good job with the trilogy.
Yeah,
they're supposedly going to be making a bunch more stuff like in that type of thing.
That's what I always felt was missing from the slasher films was the actual slashing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a knife, close up of a knife, like
especially
swinging down on something.
Recent stuff has been kind of tamed down. And
yeah. Well, with the slashers, a lot of the kills are like realistic. They're not very like elaborate. A lot of them are just like stabbed to the throat or a slice to the throat.
Well,
or
it's even like the Scream series. Like going back and watching that, it was just. You really
fish.
You really don't see any brutal kills in there, and like a lot of it is implied off screen, and then you just see the body afterwards.
Yeah,
and it's
Scream 4 kind of went a little overboard on it. That one,
I'd have to watch it.
One of my favorite, the scene where the girl's getting killed across the street.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking hangs her out the window.
I didn't say your closet.
And he hangs her out the window.
Yeah,
and then rips her back in, and there's like the whole room is just gore.
And then her guts are out. But that's like reminiscent from the first one when Steve's guts were gutted in the first scene with Drew Barrymore. The boyfriend was gutted.
Right.
But you didn't see anything. You just saw.
No, you just saw his guts fall out.
Saw, like that, his guts were out and stuff like that in the first one.
See, I actually watched. I saw a trailer, like out of the many trailers, like they did that stupid ass thing where they're like, "You won't believe who the killer is." And 20 minutes into the film, I had a hunch who the killer was, so I just skipped to the end.
And which movie?
Scream 4. Like
Scream 4.
It was like the same with the Taking Lives movie. I don't know if you ever saw that.
The one with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie, and like the trailer is set up to where Kiefer Sutherland, like he's in the trailer and like he's clearly comes off as a serial killer, and they did that. You won't believe who the killer is, and right when I saw that, I was like, Ethan Hawke's the killer.
Oh yeah,
and that's how it was with Scream 4. Like when they said that, I watched it for 20 minutes, like got to know the character introduction. And then it was like Nancy's cousin or niece or whatever the hell. Like I was like, she's the killer, and like I just skipped to the end. I was like, all right, yeah, I was right.
yeah. I mean, I actually liked how they do. Like, Scream 5 is coming out, right?
Yeah.
They're making that. I don't know where.
I think they just finished cutting it together, so it's like done.
Last Halloween,
I don't know when they're releasing it yet.
Last Halloween, I was like dicking around on Netflix, and I saw they had a Scream series.
Yeah,
they were actually 3 seasons into it.
Dude, actually, the first 2 seasons are really good. Like, actually, the first season is awesome.
I didn't know anything about this until last year.
And then the third season,
3 seasons deep into it.
Yeah, the third season took a shit, but the first 2 seasons were awesome.
But it sucks that the third season sucked because they brought fucking Ghostface back.
Yeah, and they tried to they changed the mask and everything
in the first 2 seasons.
In the first 2, like it's not the Ghostface mask; it's like some weird, like almost kind of like an invisible mask with some like
it's a surgical mask
stuff on. But yeah, I got into those series, man. They were good.
Oh, no. And there was another series.
I would skip the third one. But
the
third one was shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I mean, you can watch it. It's basically like.
See, I think I started it on the 3rd season because I thought I had no idea.
The first 2 were the best. The first 2 were.
Well,
really
it was
good.
like Scream in the Hood. That's basically.
I think that's what it. Because like after maybe 15 minutes, it was just background noise for me because I was just working. Halloween's a busy season for the online store, so I'm like literally just working on a whole bunch of shit. Just it's background noise, so I don't like get in my own head.
Right.
Yeah. There was another show. I think it was like Slasher or something like that.
Yeah, I watched the first like 3 or 4 episodes, and I thought it was pretty good. I just never finished it for some reason.
I think there was like 3 seasons of
that.
Yeah,
there's 3 or 4 seasons
of
that, too.
That's actually pretty good, too, if you want to get into one of the Netflix shows. It's basically set up like Scream, but it's like, it's a whodunit. It's actually pretty good. I think it's still on Netflix.
I think so.
I like mystery more than I like horror. Like, the problem with it now is, especially old horror, like, whenever they do gore effects, if I see a lifted edge or something like that...
That's the problem. You can't... You're, like, judging.
Oh, you're looking for the imperfections.
You're not even looking for the imperfections, like, what was that Guillermo del Toro film? Crimson Peak?
Oh, yeah.
The opening scene was, like, a close-up of that girl. It was basically the ending before they go back to where it all began. But she had this cut on her face, and I could just see, like... the edge there where it just wasn't blended, and the entire movie I'm just looking for all the imperfections at this point. Like I couldn't even focus on the story. I was like,
that's what sucks about filmmaking is like you watch things differently now. You like kind of nitpick stuff.
I watch how they cut things together.
I try to like step away from that and just watch it and enjoy it. Well, because it's hard.
I watch the sickening handheld that a lot of people do. Like I hate hold it together. Like stop moving the camera so much.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes it
gets a little.
Sometimes it works, but sometimes like you can actually see the guy walking with the camera. Like like I'm like, man, just get a freaking gimbal. Like come on now, I hate it.
But yeah, that's usually just how it is. Like, well, when I was doing Dorset was another short film I did, and that's all one continuous shot with all practical effects.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was basically just a promo short film, like to show what the company Crimson Hands Effects can actually do.
So it's like a reel.
It's basically its own reel, but it's a short narrative, and it has the stuff in there. Like one of the things is squibs.
Mm-hmm.
Like from a filmmaker's point of view, like this is pretty much a wet dream for them because it's not cutting away, it's not trying to cheat anything. It's like you got bullet squibs going off and stuff like this, and you know, if you've ever done that on set, you know how hard it is.
Yeah, really
There's like a lot of rehearsal and setup, and sometimes you don't get ignition, or if you're doing the CO2 squibs, like you got that tube in there. Well, if the actor like moves or something, that tube is going to move the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're getting shot right here, but blood's coming out right over there. So, we were going to do the whole gimbal thing for that one. But just decided at the end, I think after a run, like it was just way too smooth. And we wanted to have this, like, most of the film is like we're following behind this one character going down a trail in a park. And it just looked a lot more effective if we had that like fluid cam, like handheld look.
I mean, I shoot mostly that like handheld. I like the dynamic of it, especially on movies with no budget.
Yeah,
it gives that extra, I guess, indie feel to it or something. And I don't know. I've always liked it. I very rarely will use a tripod or.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you use a gimbal.
No, I don't use gimbals.
Yeah.
It's too, you know what? I hate a lot of rap music videos have the gimbals, and I don't like the way it looks. Like where they're doing that moving around shit, and it's just like while they're standing there rapping, the things moving at them and stuff. And I just think it looks weird.
Well, it's not only
it's too clean. Like I
don't
like that rough, grindhousey indie look.
Yeah, but you don't want that in music videos.
I like that. I don't know.
I think I've seen some of the rap videos you're talking about. It's not only the fact that they're using a gimbal, but they're also using that warp stabilizer shit.
Yeah.
Like, and like it makes things look
just
weird.
Looks too mechanical, I guess. I don't know. It just don't look right.
What the hell are you even going for here?
Well, like in some music videos, you want to have that smoothness, but like unless there's a narrative to the music video, that's when you'll just do all handheld. Because there's a narrative to the music video and the story.
That's the thing is most of the music videos I've done has been like a storyline to it, and you know, I've had the rappers that just want to stand in front of a car and rap. I'm like, oh wow, how original!
Right in front of a brick wall,
graffiti wall. If they like dropped acid or LSD or some shit before the video started, and you're like, okay, that whole gimbal weird warp stabilizer shit works for this because
I did do a music video for guys, and they were smoking weed the entire shoot. Like we were shooting for like 5 hours, and they were all freaking fried.
And how high were you?
I was pretty high. I mean, I had a contact high. We had a scene in the car where I had to. There were 3 people in the scene. I had to shoot each one separate as we're driving, and they're smoking like. And I got to the third guy, and he couldn't even like lip sync properly because he was so fucked up. And I was like, oh my god, how are these? And then like at the end of the day, I mean, they had smoked all day, and I'm like, how are these guys like even functioning right now? Like it was amazing.
It's a hobby for a lot of people,
I guess.
See, well, when we were doing the broadcast, there was somebody there who he was actually staying in the house, and he asked if he could just borrow some film equipment because, like, some of his rapper friends wanted to come over and like shoot a music video. Like after the set was wrapped, I was like, just don't mess anything up, and I don't give a shit. And he wanted some tips on how to light the thing because they were he was gonna put up the green screen.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're gonna get one of these 1,000 watts, and I'm just gonna put it directly in front of us. Like
that's terrible.
You're just gonna cast a shadow like over the green screen.
Yep.
And I like told him, like a 2-point, if you can get like a light behind them, that's great. There wasn't too much space to work with. But the next day we come back and he shows me what he got, and it was just these guys were clearly stoned out of their mind, because it was like they're bouncing in and out of frame.
Yeah.
They got their hand like this, like they're holding guns. Like, what the fuck is that? And he was like, they're just gonna like CG those guns in. Yeah, like the back. He didn't even go with my lighting. He put the 1,000-watt directly in front of them. So, and they're like,
they're all washed out.
They're maybe a foot away from the green screen. So it's like this just dark shadows.
I want to see this video. Did it ever come out?
I don't think it did. Like,
he was probably like, shit, how can we CG?
I straight up told him, I was like, this looks like shit. And he was like, well, they said they've done worse. And I was like, fuck it. Like, if they can figure it out, fine, more power to them. But I'm saying from my standpoint, like, I just would have had a reshot and I would have fired your ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we say that at almost every show. Everyone thinks they can do better that never done it before. Like, they unless they've actually done it.
It's so funny because I'm on all these like filmmaker forums and groups and stuff, and people are constantly like, they'll ask a question, like a legit question. I mean, some people are like idiots. Hey, I need funding for my movie. Anybody here want to fund my movie? And you know,
buy my script.
Yeah, we all want to fund your movie. So, but a lot of people have a legit question or whatever, and I'm usually a smart ass. Like, he'll be like, what's your biggest hurdle being a filmmaker? And I'm like, working with human beings, you know, shit like that. So some guy the other day posted, I want to make a feature film and I've got $30,000. Is that possible to make a feature for that? And I'm just like, I'll make like 5 features for $30,000. And all these people are chiming in. That's impossible. You're going to spend $30K on the sound mix and all this shit. And I'm just like, what the hell, man? Like, these people don't know what they're talking about.
I mean, it depends on what kind of film you want to make. Because well,
obviously, I mean, you're not going to get a movie with Brad Pitt in it for $30,000. But you can make a movie. I mean, we just showed it. We made a movie for $1,100, and you know, it's just
if you have the
know-how and the drive, and you got to be able to bullshit people. You know, you got to make people believe in your stuff, and they'll probably work for nothing.
Yeah, but then there's these people. The last cinematography gig that I was on, I stopped advertising my services as a cinematographer because of this shit. It was this.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, it was like this Christian-based.
Oh
film.
my god!
Yeah.
The Christian people are the worst. I did work for 2 Christian people. They still owe me like $8,000.
It was actually
they're the worst. They freaking hide behind the Bible and treat you like garbage. It's the worst.
Like Jesus is just looking down. Like, we're like, I'll front you, dog. Like, we got you. Like 90% of this shit's coming from me. But like, this is their mindset. Like, they can just frolic around and just not even give a shit. But there was actually, when I was still Blue Light was the original production. That's what the broadcast was under, Blue Light Films. And I guess despite the fact that I'm like doing photography where it's like naked, demonic, blood-covered girls, I'm posting this on Blue Light Films page. It's still getting the attention of like Christian and religious-based filmmakers.
Weird.
I think it was just my cinematography reel that they were interested in. Like, that was actually cut pretty good. But they were willing to look past all the other stuff.
Hey, it's work. I mean, it's not like I made this. I just shot it. You know.
One was like this Nigerian priest or something like that, and he didn't even have a script. Like, he had 30 pages of just this weird, it was a script, but it wasn't formatted in script form. And then most of the dialogue, it was just like, will be improvised between actor and director. Like, that's what it would say.
Sounds like Dead Residents.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so I backed out of that, and then the next one was this, I don't know, an atheist art dealer or something like that. He gets a kidney donated from a Christian, and then he's trying to like win her interest, and I don't even know, like, the script wasn't even finished for that one. It was like 2 different stories. There was a murder mystery in this thing too, colliding together. I got on there to do a trailer. Like, for the whole day, we got this trailer knocked out. And then she wanted me to come back for the feature and stuff. Well, it was a bare bones crew. Like, I had a lighting guy. She hired a sound person. And for 3
That's a lot of
days,
crew for me.
well, yeah. She even had some friends like as PAs and stuff like that. But I don't. For some reason, the last day that I was on set, like I was trying to teach her, like only do. She wanted to do this like Legends of the Fall, No Country for Old Men type cinematography shit, and I'm like, okay, we need a lot more crew.
Right.
And
people don't get that.
Yeah, like she didn't. She just thought we could do that with 2 people, and yeah, like we did that day, and then a few months later, she came back and she said she wasn't going to have a sound guy because there wasn't much dialogue anyway. And was like, okay, she's like, we're just gonna do ADR. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Luckily, not luckily, like I had my sound gear on me, like a couple of lab mics and the boom mic. Like that was in the car from another thing that I just forgot to take out. We get to that set. There's like 10 pages of script here, 5 different locations. It's all one day. And everything has dialogue. Her plan was I was going to shoot this shit, and then after we get all the scenes, like whip out the audio gear, and then do everyone's like audio on set.
She was going to do it that day on the ADR?
We did do it that day, like, but I was already
like, why not just record it while you're saying it? Like,
she didn't have a sound person. Like, she didn't even bother to hire one for that day, and it was like you're going against every piece of advice I gave you. Right. And there was this whole thing about me mansplaining shit. I was like, no, like this is textbook shit. Like men, women, gays, like transgenders. If you're a filmmaker, you need to follow this method. This isn't mansplaining shit. This is just how it's done.
Wow.
Like you're trying to Christian-splain how it's done.
Yeah, I stopped doing like advertising for me to shoot stuff and edit stuff because I got tired of chasing money. I got tired of people canceling the day of the shoot. People not showing up. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't need this shit.
Especially when you.
So I only work with people that I've worked with before. I got a couple gigs that are regular, and that's all I need. Like, I don't need to deal with all the bullshit.
There's just too much.
Like the guy that wanted the green screen video.
Yeah.
He's texting me like 2 weeks in a row. Hey, we're going to do this in a couple weeks. I'll let you know the date. And I'm like, okay, just let me know the date and we'll make it happen. I haven't heard back from him. And it's just like, and that was what, a month ago when we talked about that?
Yeah, a little bit.
And I did a music video for him before. And this is what he's doing. So it's just like, I don't even need to deal with this shit no more.
Maybe he's got COVID.
I don't know.
There was actually, before the whole Christian lady, there was actually this music production company based out of, I don't even know if it was New York or Miami. But they wanted me to finish the rest of this music video. Like, it's about one of these coming of age songs. Like, the Spanish singer, he starts off in New York, and then he does like a cross country, finding yourself sort of road trip there. And he, at the end of the music video, he sees this girl he used to go to like preschool with or some shit, and she's in Miami. She's also a musician, like singing in bars, and they like reconnect. I saw the footage they got from New York and North Carolina. They've been shooting the thing for a year. So they kept, this guy.
But the song's old by now. Like,
well, it gets even better. He kept setting up dates. He's like, all right, but they weren't going to shoot in Miami. They were going to shoot in the Clearwater area because there were some Miami looking spots and even Ybor. So he'd set up 2 days, like, and I'm working 80 hours a week at the Chinese restaurant, weekends, of course. So that's like $300 right there that I'm fucked out of if I don't show up. Cancels. Set it up again, cancels. Third time cancels. Like the third time he canceled, we got on the phone with him and the producer of the thing, and I asked him, I was like, can somebody like send me a track to this thing? Apparently it was the singer. He kept backing out the last minute. I was like, can someone send me a track to this song too, so I can get like a feel for what it is? Because I've just been seeing B-roll footage. And they were like, well, we don't have a song
No
yet.
track. Oh, but jeez.
I was like, what?
How do you
Like
have a story with no song?
It's like you guys just started doing this music video and spent over a year working on it. You don't even have a song recorded yet. He's like, well, the singer, like, we keep setting up sessions, but he keeps coming up with excuses, and
people are tripped. He probably can't sing. That's probably the excuse they should say.
I think that's what it was. Like, they just hired this. He's a singer for hire. He didn't even write the song. Like, someone else wrote it. And, you know, the band, they hired another band, and it was just insane. So, like, they called me back up. And, well, like, I think about a month later, they said that they actually fired that singer. Like, they're scrapping the entire project. And they're like, but we got some commercials lined up that we want you to, you know, be a part of. Like, can you clear 3 days for this date? And I was like, all right, but this shit needs to be legit. Like, I can't keep doing this. He's like, no, it's legit. It's legit. They canceled.
Jeez Christ.
Yeah, so he tried calling back several times after that. I just never answered the phone.
People suck.
Yeah. It's an LLC, like, music production company too. Like, so
Makes no sense.
I don't get how this was so unprofessionally handled.
Right.
Wow.
Which goes back to what's the hardest part of making movies, working with human beings.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you could not have to work with humans, you're good.
Oh yeah. If I knew how to do CGI, like I would do everything CGI.
Right.
Like I would just do it that way.
Right. Did you work on the Jasmine Tri-Devil?
I did. Yeah, I was her makeup artist. I was the one who put the third tit on her. But see, I don't want to say the music video that I helped her out with because it was very reluctant, and I told her I didn't want credit for it because of the subject matter. So I'm not really going to go into that. I don't want people looking that up.
All right.
But yeah, like I don't really know what she's doing now, but I did.
She's still doing videos and stuff.
Yeah, she's doing the makeup now. So
I was doing her reality show.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
What a fucking disaster. It was hilarious, man. She paid me a lot of money too, and I got me, my girlfriend at the time, and Marcus, my nephew, and I had 3 cameras rolling at all times. And this was shit. And when I first met her, I'm like, look, you have an amazing idea right now. People will watch this show, okay? Make 1 episode really good as a pilot and send it out. And somebody will pick this show up. I guarantee it. No, I want to shoot 10 episodes. I'm like, you're out of your mind if you want to shoot 10 episodes. So these episodes were, so this girl, to give the backstory, so she had a 3rd breast implant, like Terminator, or not Terminator, Total Recall.
Yeah.
The 3rd breast implant. And she was trying to make a show about her everyday life having a 3rd implant. And no lie, we would go to like the Pegasus Lounge, like a bar, and I would sit there shooting like an hour of her sitting there drinking drinks for an hour. And I'm just like, we're going to use maybe like 20 seconds of this shot. But she would not let you cut the cameras. We had 3 cameras rolling at all times. And she was mic'd separately. So we had to sync audio to. So I told her at one point, we shot probably like 6 or 7 days. And I told her, I said, look, if you ask me, and she was going to edit herself. So I'm like, here's the thing. If you asked me to edit this footage to make shows, I would charge you like $80,000. I'm not even kidding. Because it'll take me probably 2 years out of my life to edit this thing together. Like, it's impossible. And so she just wouldn't listen. She wouldn't listen. And she had an amazing idea, and I think people would have watched it because she was nuts. Like, she had a lot of, she was kooky. She had a guy that was her slave and kept him in a cage. And at one point, she started carving her name in his chest with a knife. And we went to one of the shoots, and the guy was like in the house, and he was like, you guys need to help. Like, he took us aside. He's like, you guys need to help me escape. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, like she stole my driver's license. She stole my keys to my car. Like I can't leave. She locks me in the house, and when she goes away, she puts me in a cage. And he didn't want to be there, and she was like keeping him as a slave. And he was a young kid too. I mean, he was probably 17, 18 years old. Like he wasn't very old. And I was just like, this chick is nuts. And she went. It was funny because she went on a radio show in Orlando and blew up. Like she was everywhere. TMZ, all the tabloid shows, like all over the radio, all over the news. Like news people were coming to her house and interviewing her. She blew up, like went viral overnight.
Then, I just want to say, like, while she was on the phone with that news station, like, I was putting the third tit on her. Like, like it was...
48 Hours called me and said they wanted to come to my house and interview me, and I'm like, how the hell do you guys even know? Because I didn't advertise it, or like we were way underground. Like I didn't want anybody to know when I was doing this. And 48 Hours calls me and says, "Are you the camera crew for Jasmine Tridel?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, how do you know that? And they're like, "Oh, we know. Would you mind if we came to your house to interview you guys? Like, we want to know like the scoop." And at this point, we were kind of like on the outs. Like we didn't want to do the show anymore because she was such a disaster. And she had flown to Las Vegas to see Chris Angel for her birthday. So she flew to Vegas, and then on her way back, someone went on the conveyor belt and stole her suitcase. Like took it off and stole it. So she went to file a report, and in the report was third breast prosthetic. And so I guess the security guy that found the report leaked it or whatever, and her fame was over after that. But she went viral, and then literally like 2 days later was canceled.
there was actually a lot of things there because because that TSA thing at the airport, like that actually happened a few months before she went viral. Like, so yeah, somebody.
Oh, did it happen?
Like that happened maybe 2 months before it went viral. But yeah, that's what it was. Like when she did go viral, I guess the TSA agent who had that report was like, "Oh wait, I know this girl," and like posted that online. And there was also this, I think it was like a German podcast or something like that. Like they were local to Tampa, but they came to her house to do an interview. One of the people on crew had a thermal camera. So he snapped a picture of her and he posted that online as well, like probably around the same day, of just this orange figure with this like blue fucking thing right here. So like I was trying to like give her advice too, like as all this shit is just crumbling to the ground.
It was a disaster.
She got flagged. She got reported a lot for her Facebook page, which was getting a lot of attention, but it got taken down like maybe 4 or 5 days after it went viral. And
I know I was like the third or fourth camera crew that she went through, like, but I needed the money at the time. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'll shoot anything for money. I don't care.
She wanted me to do it. Like,
and it was a mess. It was a mess. But one of the funniest things, we went to. She went to.
But wait, more importantly, did that guy ever escape?
I don't know.
Probably. I mean, he wasn't there. Like, I never saw him.
You never saw him? Every time I went there, he was there, and it was weird. I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, we went to a beauty pageant in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, and we all got in her car, drove down to this beauty pageant, and she's got a third breast, and she entered a beauty pageant, right? So we get there, we get to the hotel where they're having it, and she checks in, and the people are kind of like, everybody's looking at her. Well, we find out that this beauty pageant is pretty much for kids, and their moms are like participating with them, and so they were freaked out. Like the judges and stuff were freaked out. So we had a meeting in this big room with all the judges saying, you're going to be respectful and blah blah blah, or we're going to kick you out. And she was like, I'm here to compete. Like, I'm not here for anything other than to win this contest. So they let her participate in this contest. And so the first day actually went pretty good. It wasn't too bad. And then the second day happens. And she comes on. They had a bikini, like a bathing suit competition. And she comes out and she is wearing like this like little camisole thing over her. She gets on the stage and the announcer was saying stuff about each contestant, like their likes and their ambitions and all this stuff. And the lady goes, Jasmine has a third breast that she uses to create breast cancer awareness. And she takes her camisole off. The fucking place was like, everybody was just like, had their jaw dropped on the ground. And she walks out, and the people are fucking pissed off at her. And they said, the judges want to talk to you right now. So we're following her with the cameras, and they were like, no cameras, no cameras. But we kept the audio rolling. And so she comes running out, and she's like, we gotta go. So we like grabbed all our stuff and like ran into the car and dove in the car and took off. And I'm just like, this chick is nuts, man. And like I think that was the last shoot we ever did with her. Because I talked to her again. I'm like, Jasmine, listen to me. You gotta make just one episode and pitch it. And she just didn't listen. And now she's probably got 800 hours of footage with separate audio, and nothing will ever happen with it. And she spent a lot of money on that thing too, on that whole thing.
Well, even the music videos, like there was one that I did edit. It was called Thirsty Boys.
Is that the one where the guys are in cages and stuff, or she's walking them down the sidewalk? And
no, that was actually just a regular video. That was from cell phone footage from somebody else. Like she was walking. Yeah, it was like three guys in gimp
that was
masks.
working with us was actually in one of the videos. And I'm like, dude.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
There was like a bunch of guys, and they were.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that one, but I don't even know if that one's still on her channel. But
I don't think I tried finding it the other day. I couldn't find it.
Thirsty Boys, like it. I haven't checked it in a while, but like it would come and go. Like she would, take it down and put it back up, but she ended up reshooting the video like 3 times or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, like she originally wanted me to do that one as well. And I was like, okay, what's this one about? She was like, it's a bunch of guys, like one of them looks like Lil Wayne picking cotton in a field.
Oh my God.
And me and a bunch of other girls are going to be walking around holding assault rifles and wearing slutty Nazi uniforms. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. Tell me
more. And she was like, then there's going to be 3 guys like sucking on my tits, and the milk is just going to projectile come out, like shoot them all across the room. It's like, all right. She was like, you want to do it? I was like, no. And she was like, is it the subject matter? I was like, yeah. She's like, which part? I was like, all of it. I told her I would like still be her effects artist. Like I would still put the third tit on her if she wanted, but like as far as music videos are concerned, obviously none of that shit that involved the racism. But I was like, you don't need the third tit anymore. Like I tried getting that through her head. Like you can be famous without that third tit. Like that's a crutch you don't need anymore. And to be honest, it was just working against her at this point.
Yeah. Because everybody knew it wasn't real. And
yeah, like
just like she kept putting it on. It was like, okay, this isn't fun anymore.
Her 15 minutes were up. It was just like a director constantly putting his movie back in the movie theaters, like just because it had a good run the first time. Like that's what it was like. She was just beating a dead horse, and she disagreed. She still disagrees, I'm sure, to this day. But like, all right, well, I tried.
Yeah. Give our input.
Yeah. But now she has all this stuff, the third tit mold and everything, and like I taught her how to like mix the foam latex and stuff like that. So
does she still do it?
I don't know if she's made any more videos, but I have seen some where she put it on herself and she just puts this like blur mask over the seam, because I'm not doing it, and she's just repurposing this prosthetic that she's already used before. Like, I had to make a brand new one every single time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because you got all that makeup and shit, like the edge. You got a bunch of glue there and stuff like that. Like, it would take maybe 90 minutes to carefully get all that shit off and preserve the edge. And you just, you don't, it's just easier to just make a brand new one. And
the things people do for fame.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, like,
if I found something to make me famous, I mean, I'd probably do it. I don't know how long. Depending on what it was.
That's what it was. Like, she wouldn't do anything else.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people just want to hold on to that bit of like fame and viral. Is there a word for that? For
there was other things. There was definitely other things she could have done. Like,
Does she have any talent?
She was like,
man,
I wouldn't say it was talent. She was just like a train wreck that you couldn't take your eyes off of.
So like Kim Kardashian.
Basically, yeah. She could have done this train wreck shit without the third tip.
Right.
Yeah. Like, she could have kept that up. And
she had this
like a Honey Boo Boo.
She had this weird persona, and I don't know. She was.
I did see pictures of that the guy who was her slave, because like when she went viral, he came up in the media.
Yeah, I think he filed didn't he file a lawsuit against her or something?
No, that was all. Yeah, she told him that was all bullshit.
Oh, it was all bullshit.
Well, the thing is, he was part of the act. Like, when you saw him, she told me this, so maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but he was actually paid to be there.
Oh, really?
And he was instructed to, like,
makes sense.
Yeah, be in this, like, quietly.
Maybe that was part of the act when he was like, "You gotta save me."
Yeah,
me and my girlfriend were like, "What the fuck are we supposed to do?" Like, it's weird.
Yeah, because that's what it was. I think she probably even paid him or begged him to like run an article about how he was treated in there. It's the bad publicity is good publicity. Yeah, like, but especially when it's bad. Like, she idolized Marilyn Manson's, like, all the controversial shit he did, before finding out the even more controversial shit he did with all the women he was dating. But yeah, she just sort of idolized that, and I was even trying to, like, because I'm a Manson fan, or like, I like the music, but fuck him for what he did.
Right.
But I was trying
to. The Bianca Barnett was in our movie Die Don't Die.
Really?
Yeah. I saw the article and I was like, holy shit.
I would have known that if I got the editing job, Chris.
Yeah, I know, right? You wouldn't have noticed it because she was the worst actress I've ever worked with in my whole life. Worst.
Someone told me there was a girl on there who was just being a complete, like, bitchy diva. Was that?
Yeah, that was her. And she didn't know any of her lines. And then she started yelling at us because we were unprofessional. I'm like, unprofessional? You don't even know any of your lines.
But Sean told me I didn't have to know any lines.
Yeah. And then she says, well, Sean told me I didn't need to know my lines that well. And Sean's like, why the hell would I tell her that? And we're just like freaked out. We're just like, what is going on? Like, no lie, Karl, we had to put the script in front of her face and she had to read the lines off of it. It was that bad.
Yeah. I mean, I've done that on some jobs. So some jobs, the writing was so terrible. Like, who would put that sentence together?
We didn't even write this script. It was somebody else.
I mean, in her defense, Marlon Brando does that. They had to do that same thing.
Well, he didn't do that till the end of his career. He didn't do that at the beginning.
I mean, what is the end of his career? Like the last 20 years of it? Because there's actually actually a still photographer on the set of The Godfather. Like, they took a photo. Like, they did a medium thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just medium the shoulders and stuff. But, like, the photographer took a wider, like, picture of it. And James Caan has cue cards hanging around his neck for Marlon Brando to read off of.
That's crazy.
Because Brando just, even back then, he didn't give a shit.
Yeah, he was a weirdo.
Yeah.
He was the it dude. Everyone wanted him in his movie.
Yeah, but, like, that's what it was. Like, he knew... He was the one who put asses in the seat, so he didn't give a shit. Like,
But yeah, Bianca Barnett was our screen queen that we flew in. Like, this was the first actress we ever paid and flew in and put in a hotel, and we were all excited. She was going to be like the face of the movie. And she shows up to set, doesn't know any of her lines, can't even like deliver a line. Like, it was awful. We're all looking at each other like, what is happening here? Like, it was weird. And then the next day, we're shooting at Sean's house all day, and she wasn't in any of those scenes. She wasn't until the night. And she was in his house, and she's like, Sean, we're like uploading footage, and she's like, Sean, do you mind if I grab a beer out of the refrigerator? And we're all looking at each other like, really? So he's like, yeah, I guess. So she's drunk. She's drinking all fucking day, and then we get to set, and again, she can't deliver any of her lines. And she has one line left, and she's done. Like, she was just in like the beginning of the movie. She got one line left, and she's done, and she just couldn't say it. And Sean's like, no, Bianca, say it like this. Say it like this. Say it like this. 4 times. So then she blows up. You know what, Sean? I don't know what you want from me. This set is so unprofessional. All these people are unprofessional. And she's just like going crazy on us. And we're like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So we finally calmed her down and got her to deliver the line. And she's leaving. And Sean's like, I'm going to take her back to the hotel because I don't want this bitch in my house. So my girlfriend Jen at the time and Sean, he's taking her to the hotel, and Jen's in the back seat. She couldn't find her phone. So she looks at Bianca, and Bianca is texting something, and she's like, is that my phone? Bianca stole her phone, and then threw it in the back seat at her. And then they go to the hotel, and we had another girl, Roxy Vanderver, was in the movie too, and they were staying at the same hotel. So he drops Bianca off, and they go into Roxy's room to tell her that the next day we were supposed to shoot promo videos with both of them. So they're in the room talking about what happened, and then Jen's like, hang on. And she walks over to the door and opens the door really fast, and Bianca falls into the room because she was like listening at the door. And it was the weirdest shit, and it really turned us off to like flying actresses in and stuff. And yeah, so when I saw the article about her suing Marilyn Manson or filing charges against her or whatever, I was like, oh my god, what a nutcase. She was nuts. But what was funny is after we were done, we started going through her IMDb credits because she had a bunch of credits, and all her credits were like girl in bar, girl downstairs, girl in the back. She had like no lines in any of her movies.
Yeah.
And I think her biggest movie was a movie called, it was like a Showtime movie, and she was all in like makeup, and she had no dialogue.
Was that the one?
It was like
her credit was Pig Bitch.
Pig Bitch. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That
she had like
was
makeup on
funny,
and
yeah.
no lines. So I don't think she ever delivered dialogue in any of her movies, and we just got duped.
Yeah. Sounds like
It was
it.
ridiculous.
Sounds.
And we put a Delta Pi Blu-ray out, and the audio of her going nuts on us is one of the special features.
Ooh, Christian Bale her ass.
Russell Crowe too, isn't it? Russell Crowe, did he do that too?
I don't think they ever got Russell. Yeah, Russell Crowe like was known for doing shit like that on set, but like Christian Bale, there was actual audio of him like flipping
going
crazy. But apparently, like there was I forgot radio talk show that Christian Bale got on like after that happened, and he explained everything about it. Like apparently the guy he was flipping out on was like this 6'6" like stocky motherfucker, but yeah, like it. He's trying to be professional and not start a comp because he knows he's gonna get canned if he like beats the shit out of Christian Bale.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, like he sounds wimpy on the audio, but in reality, like he could just fucking stomp him
Crush
out.
him.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
get that a lot too.
He's a lighting guy, so yeah, like those lighting guys can be pretty big, especially on the mainstream sets.
Yeah.
Lights are heavy.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're huge.
So you got any? Like, are you wanting to make movies anymore, or are you just doing FX?
I am in the process of. I mean, I've been in the process for a few years now, but I'm trying to put together this short anthology film that takes place inside of a like shitty motel.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like a horror version of Four Rooms, kind of.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's just weird because every time I start, like, once I get into the writing spirit of this thing, a project will come up, or like recently it was just I actually did come down with COVID, like at the beginning of June or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of messed up the writing process and trying to look for a new place. So once I get everything settled, I'm hoping to finally like stitch all these stories together.
Right.
Yeah.
Make like a coherent kind of, I don't know, somewhat watchable film.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of blood, nudity in it. Like that's
Oh,
just If I can't come up with a story, I'm just gonna
Throw tits in there.
call Shauna, be like, this thing.
There you go.
Throw the script at him. I was like, it needs blood and nudity. Do your thing.
There, yeah, absolutely. That's funny. That's what. Yeah,
That's cool.
That's Sean's recipe.
Naked
Yeah, it
Cannibals
is.
3 in a motel.
Yep.
We're not camping in the woods anymore.
Nope.
They moved on up.
We were actually thinking about doing part 3 as a found footage movie because in the second one there's a big party.
They're gonna do the opposite of Blair Witch.
Yeah, there's a big party scene and like a big Halloween party in this one, in the second one, and we're thinking about doing a found footage where the people are going in the woods looking for their friends that went missing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they come upon the witches and whatever. So
yeah, a reverse Blair Witch.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they
Totally.
did the found footage, and then they did a terrible Book of Shadows, I think it was called, or
Yeah.
was it Book of Shadows?
Book of Shadows.
Wow. Okay, I was just guessing there.
They just made a third one,
like
which
Book of Shadows.
I thought the third one. I haven't seen the third one yet.
But isn't Book of Shadows like the Charmed book? Isn't it in Charmed? Isn't it called the Book of Shadows?
Well, we talking about the
TV show.
Oh no,
Charmed
TV
I
show.
thought you were talking about
The
Blair Witch.
sequel.
No, well, I'm talking about Blair Witch, but I'm talking about Book of Shadows, the actual name Book of
Oh
Shadows.
shit, I'm sure it's
Oh.
used for a lot of things, but
Like
No
that.
idea.
That's just. But anyway,
I didn't really care too much for the first Blair Witch.
I didn't either.
It was the
I
audio
got sucked
levels.
into the hype. Like the marketing of that movie was brilliant.
Yeah.
I got sucked into like the Discovery shows they had and making it seem like it was really
Yeah,
that's
it
what
was
got me
real.
into it, yeah.
I just got sucked into it.
but the low quality cam and the handheld.
Well, what
really
happened to
fucked
me
with
was
me,
I was so excited to see it. I went and see it and the found footage, sometimes found footage makes me nauseous.
Yeah.
And I got nauseous in the theater. And so I literally watched the back of my seat, and whenever something happened, I'd look up. So that kind of ruined it. But
Oh, they did make a third one. I do.
yeah, they made a third one, not
But that was a found footage too.
a year or two ago. Was
Well,
it? I don't think it was.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think the third
Yeah.
one was found footage.
Yeah, it was found footage.
Was it?
Yeah, I actually I watched that too a couple months back. But it was like the same thing. What was it? The girl from the first one, I guess. She had a little brother who was a baby at the time.
Or sister. I think it was her brother or sister that went to go find.
Yeah, like it was her little brother who must have been a baby when she went missing because he's now like a college film student.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they came across some random footage out in the woods.
Yeah.
Where it was like a house and he thinks he saw. It was completely different footage. Like it was actual digital footage here, but he thinks he saw like his sister in a mirror or something. So they go out and investigate, and turns out there's this whole like time warp thing because the footage that they actually found was their own footage.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah,
cool.
and that was
That's
actually
cool.
a cool take on it.
That's a
Like
cool twist.
the curse of that town could actually manipulate time like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think I liked actually the third one. I think the third one.
I thought it was actually pretty good,
Yeah.
like because they had like good audio on there and like they had some not over the top special effects, but some good like jump scare moments.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
they showed more in the attic.
yeah, the house was just a lot creepier.
Yeah, it was.
And it was overall just the characters. Like when they brought that whole time thing in there, because they got separated from a group. And later on that night, or these two people turned out to be bullshitters. Like they knew the force, or they were like trackers, but turns out they weren't. They were actually, when everyone was asleep, they were planting like Blair Witch,
Yeah.
the talismans or whatever. Yeah, like the little tree things. So they like kicked their asses to the curb. But later on that night, like they ran into one of the guys, and he claimed like him and his girlfriend had been wandering the woods for over a week, but it was just maybe 8 hours since they told them to do it, and like there's some crazy shit in that one.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. You should watch it.
The first one, the audio, I have really sensitive hearing, so like when the audio level, it's like the guy way over there, you can barely hear him.
And it's really loud ones, really.
And then, the girl holding the camera just starts screaming and crying for no reason. Like,
kind of annoying.
I had the remote in my hand, just like controlling the audio levels the entire time I'm watching it.
Have you watched any of the new American Horror Stories? The short ones?
The short ones?
Yeah, there's like short movies that they just came out with. It's on Hulu right now. I think they're FX shows.
Yeah.
And they released 3 of them so far. 2 of them are connected, and then the third one's just a standalone. They're actually pretty good. I don't like American Horror Story. I couldn't get into it. I just didn't like them.
I reluctantly watch the show now. I'm caught up on everything, but I don't like the fact that I do this.
Yeah.
But it's like the past 3 or 4 seasons. I'm just over it.
But they're trying to do like Tales from the Crypt type shows now. They're like 40 minutes long, and they're actually pretty good. The first 2 are about the Rubber Man and the murder house, and like a family moves into the house, and the Rubber Man makes an appearance. And
so these are actually like
they're not really
from the American Horror Story. Okay, at first I thought you were talking about like the different set of horror story things.
Well, they are like the murder house is in it, and the Rubber Man is in it, but it doesn't have anything to do with the series, like the series for season 1.
Okay,
it's just a completely different story about these 2 gay guys have a daughter, and they move into the house, and the daughter finds the rubber suit, and she puts it on, and she gets like kind of weird. It was really good. And then the third one was a drive-in movie. There was a guy in the 80s that directed a movie called Rabbit, and when he showed it at the theater, everybody turned into like zombie people and started eating each other and killing each other in the theater. So they banned the movie because they were saying it made the people turn into these things. And so it's present day now, and he's releasing it again at the drive-in, and like all these people go to see it, and but it was cool. I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, they're kind of Tales from the Crypty, type of shows, but they're a lot different from the American Horror Story. I don't like the series.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't even know that they did that.
I actually saw that on Hulu. I thought they were just releasing.
It's on Hulu.
I actually thought they were just releasing the Horror Story TV show on Hulu. I literally just thought that because I saw the Rubber Man was actually on the promo. As soon as you sign in on Hulu, it's right there. Like, it was like the first thing I saw. But I thought it was
American Horror
show.
Stories with an S on the end.
I have seen that promo, but I thought it was just
it's like a clown or something.
I thought they were just promoting like the TV series.
Yeah, the series itself. That's what I thought.
Yeah, these are different. They're shorts.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Now, that's cool. Now I know they're shorts. I'm gonna actually watch them out because, like I said, the show
they've only got three out right now, so I guess gonna release one a week or something.
I think after season 5 is just when it really started going downhill.
How many seasons do they have now?
I just watched season 1. I watched the whole season 1, and I was kind of like, I don't like the lady that played the mom for some reason. I don't like her.
The actress?
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Jessica Lange, like she's
kind of an older. She's kind of an older actress, red hair. I don't know. I don't like her.
I'm trying to think of what else she was in.
She's in the show 911. I don't know if you watched that shit, but she was on that.
I don't really watch TV. I don't really watch TV.
Anyway, and then I started watching Hotel. I got like 4 episodes in. I was just like, this is just boring. Shut it off. And then I started watching the slasher one, 1984. And actually the first like 4 episodes were freaking awesome. And then they started doing like paranormal shit in the woods and all this stuff. And I was just like, this sucks, and turned it off. I think I got to episode 6 and gave up.
They start off with a good premise, but then it's like
I'm like, make it a slasher. Make it a slasher movie. Or a slasher series about a slasher. Not all this other crap.
But there's already a TV show called The Slasher.
Well, there's a huge continuity fuck up. It's interesting you brought up Hotel because the ghost of Richard Ramirez shows like in the American Horror Story universe on Hollow's. I think it's the night before Halloween, like Devil's Night or something, or
Hallow's
maybe
Eve.
it might actually be Hallow's Eve. Yeah, Halloween, because November 1st is All Saints Day. Yeah, so Hallow's Eve, like the spirits are allowed to leave the whatever houses they're inhabiting. The rule is they can't leave the house that they're in or whatever they're inhabiting. But on Hallow's Eve, they can leave and go wherever the hell they want until sunup.
See,
So
that's the story of
like folklore.
the first two shorts.
Mhm.
Like all the people that had died in the house, the murder house, can't leave except for on Halloween.
yeah, and they covered that in the I think episode 4 of the first season.
Oh.
Like but in Hotel, yeah, I think like every 4th episode of the series, like they do a Halloween one. But yeah, in the hotel, like Richard Ramirez like shows up to the hotel and like at this point he's dead. He died in prison. So you know, the hotel staff, like they know him. Like these serial killers, I think Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy, they get together at this hotel every Hallow's Eve and just have a party where they kidnap a couple of residents and just murder them upstairs while drinking, I don't know, whatever the fuck, absinthe or something. But in 1984, Richard Ramirez shows up. He's the Night Stalker.
Right.
So he's alive. This is before he gets caught. Spoiler alert, like they do have a slight narrative that focuses on him.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the show, he goes back to the camp there to find that one girl to kill her, but the ghost set him up. Like he makes a deal with the devil. Like he can't die. This is where it gets weird. He makes a deal with the devil. Like at one point, he even gets killed at the camp and gets resurrected immediately. So the ghost decide to kill him, and every one of them, like, they take shifts monitoring his body. So every time they kill him, they just watch his body, and when he comes back, they just kill him again. So he's infinitely kept here at this camp, but somehow
Shows up
in the same universe, American Horror Story universe, he's also there's also a reality there where he died in prison like he did,
right,
and then shows up at this hotel as a much older version when he died. But then there's a younger version at this camp that keeps getting killed. It makes no fucking sense, and it's like, you guys should stop giving a shit.
Yeah.
Like 84 was good at first, and then they
like the first 3 or 4 episodes, I was like, damn, this shit's awesome. And then
they lost.
And I love Emma Roberts too. Like she's like, I love her.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just got dumb.
Yeah.
Speaking of Emma Roberts, Scream Queens, I love that show. You ever watch Scream Queens?
I watched the first episode.
The first season was great.
The first season was good.
I heard it's great. Like I don't know. I couldn't really get into.
It's kind of tongue-in-cheeky, fun, like kind of making fun of
definitely
horror,
show.
but it was funny.
Like I knew what they were trying to do. I think I was just focused on a whole bunch of other shit at the time, and I just couldn't get into another series. I might give it another try.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Like I said, definitely watch Slasher. And did you go through all Scream yet, or Scream series?
No, I didn't.
Turn off 3.
Yeah, don't watch 3. Don't watch.
I think that's what turned me off right there, is because it started on season 3, and I watched like 20 minutes of it, and then I just went back.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
the third season.
Don't even watch the 3rd season.
Yeah,
just watch season 1 and season 2, and you'll actually like the show.
Yeah,
and that's actually
that show, man. Like I had no clue who the killer was.
Yeah,
like till the end,
you're
just kind of like, I have no idea. Like it could be literally like 8 people.
Yeah,
and
right.
they kept the reveal secret pretty good, and I don't know, it was a fun show. It was cool. I like the characters. Some hot girls too in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, like I said, Slasher's pretty good. You'd probably be the same way. You probably wouldn't know who the killer was. Pretty good.
Trying to think of anything else that came out.
I watched a show on Netflix called Sex Life, and it's like I don't know why I started watching it. I just started watching
because
it.
it's called Sex
I think
Life.
I heard somebody talking about it, and I was like, yeah, let me watch it. And I started watching it, and it's like chick erotica, like 50 Shades of Grey type shit. And I ended up watching the whole damn series.
I bet you did.
And but there was this girl in it. Her name's Sarah Shahi. She's in the show The Rookie on regular TV, and wow.
Yeah.
And she's like naked like the whole show.
Nice.
And it's pretty good. It wasn't bad.
All right. Well,
If you like 50 Shades of Grey type shit, which I normally
it depends on the day.
really don't.
if you like hot naked girls,
For some reason,
Yeah.
this show just kind of hooked me, and I watched the whole
Well,
thing.
it's called Sex Life. Like,
True.
that's literally all you need to hook you.
True.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And if you haven't yet, watch Till Death, Megan Fox.
Yes, I haven't watched that yet. I have not
is
watched
that a
it.
series or
It's a show. It's a movie. Just came out a couple weeks ago. Freaking awesome.
Megan Fox is still in movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a terrible actress, but this movie was so
With
good.
all her Botox and
This was like
lip
one of the best
injections.
movies
Yeah,
I've seen in
it's
a
really-
while. This was one of the best movies I've seen in a while.
Wow. Okay. Well, I definitely
shit.
like when I have time. You have the abundance of
I
time.
know,
I have
just
no
sit around
time
and watch
whatsoever.
stuff all day.
But yeah, the Halloween season's coming up for me. Like cosplay season's even got me pretty busy right
I
now.
bet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like
I can't wait for Halloween just to come out. Like the movie to come out, not the season.
Yeah.
it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it looked good too.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the 2000. I liked the 2018 one until the ending.
Yeah, I liked it. It just
Yeah.
it had a lot of there's a lot of things I didn't like about it, but I thought he was awesome. I thought Michael Myers was awesome.
Yeah.
The kills were awesome. I didn't like the Jamie Lee Curtis holing up in her house with all the traps and stuff. I was just like, all right, come on, who does that? It's just weird.
I can see that because like her PTSD, like I can see that like fucking up a person. But it's like
for that long. What was it, like 30 years later? Or
it's
something?
40 years, yeah. But the problem I have with that is like like for that long, and then she just burns the entire house down. Like walks, we doesn't even see if he burns up.
Right.
Like she just walks away. I was like,
you should know better.
you got a rifle trained on him. Like put a couple rounds in him or something.
Right.
Like check his pulse or some shit. Make sure.
Like
he's
don't
dead.
stop until his head is like,
Right.
well, like the whole Terminator 2
like
type of like shotgun to the face.
Right.
Like this dude took 40 years of your life away. Like
Yeah.
just
Right.
fucking end him.
Confirm.
And then it's like
confirm the kill.
and then they're gonna transfer Michael Myers to the new asylum on Halloween. Like really, it was just kind of weird.
30, 40 years later.
It had the movie had a lot of holes in it, but I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. And for what it was cool. I'm excited for the next two.
It was just since I knew they had to do something to set it up for a sequel, but it was just I wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I think they. Well, I mean, I know they did it intentionally, but I think they decided it when they were making the movie. I don't think they decided it like when they made the movie. Like, I think they made it like when they were shooting. Like they were like, I think we're gonna open up for a sequel.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I think they said that in an interview with Carpenter and I can't remember who made the movie.
It was Danny McBride, wasn't it?
Yeah, no,
he wrote it. Yeah,
and wasn't he with somebody else?
He did have a co-writer, and
that's what I was trying to think of.
God, who was
it?
it?
Doesn't he have like 3 names? I think was it
What?
Green, something Green.
There's a Green.
McBride.
I think the guy who may have done the first Deadpool movie or the second one was the director of this one. I'm not sure.
The movie I'm freaking excited as hell to see is the new Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the trailer looks so good. I'm
Suicide Squad. I'm actually pretty.
Actually, that one looked
Yeah.
pretty good too. I was like, yeah, the first one sucked, and I'm like, so it actually looks fun.
Well, it sucks. I'm not even gonna have internet until the 9th of August. So,
The director was David Gordon Green.
yeah,
I knew it was 3 names. I was like, what is his name?
And I don't think he was the one that did Deadpool. I think that was somebody else. But yeah, definitely Suicide Squad. That's probably top on my list right there.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see that.
Yeah, we're going to see
Plus King
Snake
Shark.
Eyes tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel
I
about
don't
that
know
one.
either. I thought the trailer looked fun.
Yeah.
A lot of action.
What was it?
Snake Eyes, new G.I. Joe movie. I don't even like G.I. Joe, but this
I love
movie
G.I.
for some
Joe.
reason. Just kind
The
of.
first one I liked. I didn't like the second one, and then I'm curious what Snake Eyes is going to be.
I didn't see any of them.
I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one.
Wasn't there a third one?
The third one's the Snake Eyes, right?
I thought so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Snake Eyes is like the origin story of Snake Eyes. And
Really?
is that the theater?
What was the one that had Bruce Willis in it?
That was Retaliation.
the
That was
second
two.
one.
Oh, that was two. Okay.
Yeah, that's two. That's with The Rock is in it, and yeah.
For some reason, I thought they already had I thought that was the third sequel. I was like, that's how little I gave a shit about that whole thing.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about it, but it looks fun.
I mean, the first one, I actually like the first one. You know, like.
I've never been a G.I. Joe person. No.
I like the TV show and cartoon. I grew up with it.
Cartoons were cool.
The toys.
When you're like 6 or 10.
Oh,
or
yeah. That's when I was growing up with them. That's how old I was. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it just felt like a cash grab for Hollywood because I think they made that Battleship movie around the same time.
Right.
I mean, but that movie
flopped.
was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard China loved the shit. Like that was the only reason they made their money back on it was like China just
I don't know. Oh, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at the Killer Collab podcast. Once again, we were joined with Karl Huber. Dun dun dun. And as always, joined with Chris Lato from Reaper Films.
Peace.
Always. I don't know why he's always here. He just keeps coming back. He's like,
peace.
Peace. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube, and we're also on Anchor FM. Join us, Killer Collab Podcast. Thank you once again. Have a good one. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. Bye.